Hello everyone, this is Fine from Awesome Tech Gaming Pro. I hope you all are well. Sony has announced its 2023 LCD TV lineup. X95L with mini LED and X90L have improved zone dimming, and X85L gets zone dimming for the first time. There are no new 8K TVs. Here are our first impressions. Let's start with what was not announced at Sony's launch event in London this month: 8K TVs. When asked by Flat Panel HD, Sony argued that the market is limited. By some accounts, the 8K TV market actually fell in 2022 compared to 2021, and that Z9K was a late launch in 2022. So instead of launching a new Z9L, last year's Z9K, it will carry over into 2023. Sony said that its decision not to launch new 8K TVs in 2023 was not due to the EU's updated energy consumption regulation that will go into effect today. Manufacturers are still allowed to ship 8K TVs in eco mode with heavily subdued brightness and picture settings, leaving the user to decide if he or she wants to switch the TV to a better picture mode with significantly higher energy consumption. Besides 8K, Sony's 2023 LCD TV lineup looks little changed at first glance. We have the two high-end models, X95L with mini LED zone dimming, what Sony likes to call backlight master drive, and X90L with full array local dimming, as well as the X85L, X80L and X75WL mid-range models. There are still some noteworthy developments, however. Both X95L and X90L come with an increased number of dimming zones and higher brightness. X85L is the successor to last year's X85K and will for the first time have full array local dimming but fewer zones than X90L. Sony North America has also announced X93L, which is a carryover from last year's X95K with the new software features, game menu, eco dashboard, but not the new XR image processor, feature discussed later. X93L will be available in 65, 75 and 85 inches, while X95L in North America will be available only in 85 inches. X90L will be available in 98 inches with 4K resolution for the first time. Sony previously offered a 98-inch Z9Z 8K LCD TV, but at $70,000 it was crazy expensive. I still don't know how much the 98-inch Sony X90L will cost, but I expect it to be sold at a much more reasonable price, as competition in the 90+ inch segment is heating up after TCL's launch of an inexpensive 98-inch LCD TV last year. In case you still had any doubts about what Sony really considers its flagship model, MediaTek's more powerful Pentonic 1000 chip with Dolby Vision 4K 120Hz support is reserved for the A95L QD OLED TV. However, X95L and X90L still feature Sony's cognitive processor XR that in 2023 gains an XR clear image feature to clean up the image in various ways depending on the signal. It takes into account resolution, encoding bitrate and other parameters to apply adaptive noise reduction and super resolution, Sony explained. All 2023 Sony models run Google TV and come with Bravia Core, which is Sony's premium streaming service that delivers a selection of Sony Pictures movies in up to 80 MB/s bitrate with IMAX enhanced aspect ratio, DTS audio, and soon Dolby Atmos. Sony's plans for Bravia Core in 2023. Sony is the only TV maker to offer a streaming service that more or less matches Ultra HD Blu-ray. So it is perhaps a little ironic that Sony's 2023 models are still limited to 100 MB/s on the LAN port, forcing you to use Wi-Fi or a USB LAN dongle to reach Bravia Core's 80 MB/s bitrate level due to overhead in streaming requires 115 MB/s. Anyways, there is a built-in microphone in all 2023 models except X75WL for voice searches, a new game menu with quick settings that are useful for gaming, and eco dashboard that lets you see how your TV settings, including picture settings, affect power consumption. Sony's X95L and X90L models are equipped with an acoustic multi-audio speaker system that utilizes tweeters in the frame in an attempt to mimic the effect of the acoustic surface audio in the OLED TVs, where human voices sound as if they are coming directly from the image. It has tested previous models with the acoustic multi-audio, and while it does have an effect, it does not match the speakers in Sony's OLED TVs. X95L has a new implementation called Acoustic Surface Audio Plus with actuators that vibrate to produce sound from the entire screen, said Sony. Sony had placed the new X95L with an improved mini LED backlight next to last year's X95K and LG C2 OLED to demonstrate how the higher number of dimming zones in X95L versus X95K improves contrast and luminance control and reduces blooming. Sony said that X95L is 30% brighter than last year's X95K and has up to 20% more dimming zones depending on the screen size. Last year's 65-inch X95K had 432 zones. All three TVs were in vivid mode. No photos were allowed in this room. The first demonstration with the lights turned on in the room revealed that X95L can reach higher peak brightness in bright scenes compared to both of the other TVs, but it does not match the depth and contrast of LG C2 even in a bright room. In another demonstration, Sony turned off the lights in the room to demonstrate that X95L has less clouding and blooming than last year's X95K, and to demonstrate how it can automatically adapt its picture to the room lighting based on the built-in light sensor. It seemed to work as intended, and it was clear that Sony has managed to reduce blooming and clouding in especially the black movie bars. In the last demo, Sony changed the three TVs to custom picture mode, which is the company's most accurate picture mode. Dark movie scenes showed improvements over last year's X95K, but I still saw a significant level of clouding and blooming on X95L. The more important point here is perhaps that the LG C2 OLED Sony's 8T series is designed to compete with LG C2, delivered a significantly better picture and much more accurately matched the RGB OLED reference monitor. I therefore feel compelled to reiterate my conclusion from last year's X95K. Sony offers significantly cheaper TVs with much better picture quality. Stepping down to X90L, Sony said that it is 30% brighter and has up to 60% more dimming zones. In one setup, Sony compared X90L to last year's X90K and Samsung's Q85B. With all three in vivid mode, last year's X90K showed excessive levels of blooming, and X90L still exhibited heavy blooming in many areas of the picture, including the black bars, but less so than X90K. And it was evident that it can reach higher peak brightness. None of the three excelled or came close to matching the reference monitor. X90L still struggled, especially in dark scenes, where the picture appeared blown out, almost as if a haze was over it. But both of Sony's X90 ranges were noticeably better than Samsung's Q85B, which is an IPS model, in the demo clip that Sony had selected. The most drastic difference was probably seen with X85L, which now has full array local dimming compared to last year's X85K and Samsung Q80B. It delivered a picture with improved black levels and higher peak brightness. Sony said that it should be around 60% brighter. The improvement was significant, but obviously X85L still exhibited blooming, clouding and poor blacks. The Samsung once again fell through. Sony demonstrated how XR clear image can help clean up the picture, and while it did seem to be capable of removing noise and enhance details in some areas of the picture, I need more time with it to fully evaluate the effects. For most video scenarios, I would argue that it is up to the content creator to apply such enhancements if they really want to, and it is not at all hard for streaming services to do, as they can release a new version of movie or series with the push of a button. I'm not allowed to film the part of the presentation about the new game menu, as the design is still being tweaked, so the pictures below are from the main presentation. Sony demonstrated how various gaming functions can be quickly switched on and off. A fixed crosshair in the center of the screen, which is customizable, can help the user aim in shooting games, while the screen size feature can downscale the PlayStation 5, Xbox or PC signal to take up a smaller part of the screen, useful for gamers sitting very close to their screen, according to Sony. Mirror can also be switched on and off with a toggle. Another part of the demonstration focused on the TV's integration with Sony soundbars, and while Sony hasn't released exact pricing just yet, the X90L will likely be the most affordable of the bunch as it's positioned as the entry-level option in the Bravia XR family. It's the replacement to last year's X90K and sports a full array LED panel with improved clear image, upscaling and significantly reduced blooming. And while Sony doesn't publicly disclose the exact number of dimming zones, the company says the X90L has up to 60% more dimming zones while also being up to 30% brighter than before. This model is also getting a new aluminum bezel instead of the plastic one to the X90K, and with the addition of a massive new 98-inch model, the X90L is the biggest TV in Sony's 2023 Bravia XR lineup. Next, when it comes to OLEDs, we have the A80L and A95L. Not only do both models boast improved contrast when viewed side by side with rivals like the LG C2, I noticed Sony's OLED definitely did a better job at preserving details in shadows. The A95L was particularly impressive thanks to its QD OLED panel and cognitive processor, with Sony claiming brightness that's now 2 times higher than last year's model. This is a big because for a long time the brightness of OLED TVs has generally lagged behind that of more traditional LED sets. But now Sony says the A95L is brighter than basically all but the most high-end LED rivals. And as someone who loves the super vibrant colors you get from OLED displays, the A95L might be my favorite of the entire lineup. Speaking of high-end, Sony's X93L and X95L are the company's 2 super premium flagship options. Both sets features mini LED displays, with the main difference being the X93L doesn't come with Sony's XR clear image tech. Meanwhile, the X95L offers similar peak brightness with 30% more local dimming zones. The downside is that X95L is only available as an 85-inch model, so if you need something smaller you will have to go with the X93L. That said, when I compared the X93L and X95L to one of Sony's super expensive reference monitors in a room with typical lighting, both did a great job of preserving details while also delivering extremely accurate colors. In certain scenes, Sony's TVs almost made rivals like Samsung's QN90B look washed out. Admittedly, things like film grain were a little bit more noticeable on the X93L because it doesn't have clear image tech. But for film aficionados who really care about watching movies that look as close as possible to what the director intended, these are the sets to get. After seeing the new TVs, regardless of what type of panel you prefer, all of Sony's upcoming Bravia XR sets look fantastic. You get way more local dimming zones on the X93L line, while the 2 times higher brightness on the A95L is absolutely stunning. And with Sony adding larger screen options to basically all of its models, it should be even easier to find the right size display for your room. I spent time inside a Dolby Atmos mixed stage and Sony's ecosystem of 360 spatial sound products. In addition to the lineup introduction, Sony demonstrated Google TV Bravia Cam, the new Eco dashboard. So let's talk about the Sony 2023 LCD TV specifications. Sony X95L 4K LCD. It features 4K LCD, mini LED, full array local dimming, Dolby Vision, 3-way aluminum stand, Google TV. It will be 85-inch, 65-inch, 75-inch and 85-inch on UK. Sony X93L features 4K LCD, mini LED, full array local dimming, Dolby Vision, 3-way aluminum stand, Google TV. It will be 65, 75 and 85-inch. Sony X90L 4K LCD, full array local dimming, Dolby Vision, 3-way aluminum wedge stand, Google TV. It will be 55, 65, 75, 85 and massive 98-inch. Sony X85L, it features 4K LCD, full array local dimming, Dolby Vision, 2-way wedge stand, Google TV. It will be 55, 65 and 75 inches. And Sony X80L 4K LCD, direct LED. It has Dolby Vision features as well, 2-way wedge stand, Google TV. It will be 43 inch, 50 inch, 55 inch, 65 inch, 75 inch and also 85 inch as well. And the Sony X95WL, it features 4K LCD, Direct LED, Dolby Vision, two-way stand, Google TV. It will be 43, 50, 55, 65 and 75 inches. That means there is no LED TV on Sony 2023 models. So that's it from now. If you like this video, please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications update. Thanks for watching.
To change your